Hi, I'm Steve, and welcome to our channel Patio Heat, where we provide visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for ideal patio comfort. Check out our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. I would appreciate it if you hit that like button as it helps others find our channel. Now let's get heating. Alright, so here we have this commercial application, and essentially I have a drawing floor plan basically that just shows the overall dimensions. I saw that there might be some sort of ledge over here for like a bar stool seating area, as well as this retaining wall or perimeter wall, some steps, and that's pretty much about it. The customer did ask for information on placing the heaters above the patio, so I'm going to assume that there is actually an awning structure above, something similar to this, probably matching the perimeter wall here fairly closely. So we're going to just keep that in mind. As you can see here, we have a total of about 1,650 square feet roughly. And obviously this is an entry exit point here. We have entry exit point here and over here possibly. So that's really all the information I have. I'm going to just take the awning off for right now and talk about some options that we might utilize. So first of all, the customer did request heating from the outer edge. They did request heating with electric heaters, and so this would be the outer edge here. Heating from the outside facing in. As you can see here, we have approximately, I think it's 14 units total. These are 6,000 watt units, so 240 volts, 6,000. I think actually he might be running at 208 if I'm not mistaken on some of the information I got. So we'd have to make sure we order a 208 system if that's true. But these are 6,000 watt units. They're equivalent to about 20,500 roughly BTUs. And the one thing I really want to talk about is, well, a couple of things. One, gas versus electric, and then the other BTUs demands. Now, for 1,650 square feet, the overall demand is going to be somewhere between, and this is in Southern California, so the overall demand is going to be somewhere in between 495,000 to 453,000 BTUs required for the space here. If you look at the BTU output of a Infratech 6,000 watt, and like I said, it's about 20,000 BTUs, that would actually call out for somewhere in the nature of 24 to 22 units total to heat this area up appropriately. And so that's one thing that I like to just keep in mind. And then also the other part was gas versus electric. Gas heaters, they're 34,000 BTUs, so they're putting out much more heat, and I would use the same amount of units, 14 for this space, and I would come out with a requirement of between 14.5 and 13.3 units for the Southern California area. Now, why would you use gas versus electric in an application like this? Well, first of all, let's go back to this awning structure just really quickly. So with an awning, you have the ability to capture exhaust gases, and if there is exhaust gases up in this space here, you would basically overheat any equipment that you might have up there. You might have some fire sprinkler systems up there, and overheating the equipment itself, lights, things of that nature, fans maybe. So that would be one reason you'd use electric if there's no way to evacuate any exhaust gases. And also, I know this is in a area that's potentially windy, so if there's a big wind drift that comes through here, then gas units are affected by wind pretty strongly, but when there's no wind, they work very efficiently. So just bear that in mind. So those would be a couple of the issues, and also clearances above the heaters themselves. If there was a reduction of clearance up here, right now I just have them haphazardly placed. And I actually matched them up to this outer edge, the perimeter wall here, and then the wall over here. so that's why you see them floating in midair, but I'm assuming there's going to be a frame system up here of some sort, so I'm sure there's going to be a way to mount them appropriately. You can also just, if there was a bar over here that spans across the whole distance here, or turning this bracket up so that you can mount it on something else. But essentially this heater is 10 feet off the floor is what I have it at. So all right, well, let's go ahead and turn this on and off and look at the potential footprint of heat. So potential footprint of heat on the 6,000 watt units on the perimeter of the space here, and you can see I left one out here and left one out over here, and I also moved this one a little bit further out to the right in order to offset the fact that this is an entry exit point. So again, 14 units. You can see that we have really good coverage. Now the only thing I don't like is in cold climates. This is down here is where you're sitting, and if you were sitting there, you may not feel the amount of warmth that you'd really like, and that's why when I talked about BTU requirements, you really need to put the appropriate amount of BTUs per square foot in order to make a area comfortable. Now this would work, and if you were sitting like right below the unit itself, you would be more than comfortable. It's just that I'm a little concerned about the perimeter, or the center area over here, whether there's seating in the middle or not. All right, so this is the one layout here, and again you'll see that this is going to be the hotter spot. This you might have some overlapping and it might be okay and comfortable in the middle, and this will be the hotter spot. But again, you can have these colder areas here and here, and that goes all the way down the middle section here. So that would be one system, and let's just jump into the next option of electric. This would be my preference of systems here, because now you'll see that we have a nice uniform coverage of the overall space. Everything is equal, and if you're out here and versus out here, you're going to be equally warmth from the output of the heater itself. So that's my preference, and I think we have this at roughly 5 foot off this edge, and then 5 foot off this edge, and just hanging at the same height, 10 feet off the ground. So 14 units as well, and so that's that one. Now again, by pure calculation, it does call for the 24 to 22 units to make this really comfortable. So just keep that in mind. And so that's why I'm going to go ahead and show the last options of gas units. So this would be a gas unit here. This is equivalent to the the second one I just showed you, and here's a footprint of heat. And then also want to go ahead and put this awning back on and talk about that just a little bit. So I don't know if you've noticed, I also did have, and these are also at 10 feet off the ground, but I do have these little areas here that are, if you might notice, I have it kind of meshed in there. It's going to be a little hard to see on the video, but it's a meshed in screen type of awning material. So it's a very loosely weaved mesh, which would allow the exhaust gases to flow out of this space. This is, I think, 24 by 12. And then over here I also have a second one which could be mounted on this end as well, but it needs to be in the highest location, another 24 by 12 opening mesh, and again it could be the same color as the existing awning structure that might be there, and it also could be placed here, but 6 inches down is where I have it, and you want it as high as possible so that any exhaust gases will just come out of the heater and then flow up to the top and then flow out. And again, if you have a sprinkler system, that's going to be a big issue with regards to making sure the exhaust is flowing out of that system. Let's go ahead and take that on and off again, and you can just see here nice, even, and appropriate amount of heat. So I think this would be the most ideal. Again, I don't know what the wind issue is there, but that's something to consider. So, and then this would be the last option, which would be similar to the first, but these are all gas units, 34,000 BTUs a piece. And you can see, again, very good coverage. but you still have this major overlapping here in the middle. I would prefer to see the first option I showed you, just based on the fact that you get a nice uniform coverage. These could be a TSH models where you can have a 34,000 or 25,000 BTU output. And I didn't mention this on the electric, but you can also use a control system where you can go from 1% on to 100% on. And so that would help in maintaining the appropriate temperatures for when this patio does get filled. So each human body is going to have a little bit of BTU output. I think it's somewhere in the nature of about 300 to 400 BTUs per body. And when you get a large crowd in there, then you would probably want to turn some of the units down or off. So keep that in mind. Now, last thing I just want to talk about just real briefly, and this is not factual numbers because everyone's numbers are going to be a little bit different, but I went ahead and did some calculations with regards to what I pay for gas versus electric. And if I used 14 6,000 watt units, I'd be running about, I think it's 84 kilowatt hours, kilowatts per hour. So that would be in my billing at my home, which this is going to be a commercial application. That would be about, so the commercial application is going to be different, but that'll be about $25 per hour of operation of 14 of the 6,000 watt units. And it's also about a 30% reduction of power that you are actually utilizing for the application itself, meaning that 20,000 versus 34,000 BTUs. All right, so, and on a gas side, if you had 14 of the 34,000 BTU heaters running at full, you're at about 4.76 therms, which is equivalent to approximately, on my home bill, is approximately $16.19 per hour. So there is a pretty big difference in the operational cost. And so if I was this owner, I would consider the gas as far as the operational cost more than the electric. But if this is a windy application and we have venting issues and things of that nature, then the electrics would be no question in my mind. So in any case, that would be my recommendations. I thank you for watching. If you're looking for some more assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, send your information to designs@patioheat.com. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.